Good evening, everybody. This is Dr. Austin Cohen. I am with Carly.
Well,
Thank you for joining us tonight on this call. We appreciate it. We've been doing these calls now since the beginning of the year. We call them the Ordinary to Extraordinary webinars, and you can also find them in the podcast under iTunes. And it's really just been an amazing journey the past few months, and we've been very fortunate to have a couple guests. And I'm really excited about tonight's guest, because she's been a good friend for a few years. She's done a lot of big things in the Atlanta community. Carly, why don't you give us a little bit of background and history about yourself, maybe how you got started into yoga, and kind of where you are now with the journey.
so I was a college athlete at Virginia Tech. I was a D1 cheerleader, and when I decided to all of the repercussions I was having in my body, my knees, my joints, my ankles, I stumbled across yoga and was pretty excited to find something that was also physically invigorating without being something that was detrimental. Just my health and my overall well-being in the long term. So, once I really got into the practice, I had a couple different teachers approach me and encourage me to go get my training. So I set out and trained in New York City. Trixie Flynn, came back and began teaching before I graduated college. So at that time, I sort of recentered what I was focusing on and chose a practicum my senior year that allowed me to study mind body and the way that it really applies to the human body and spirit. And I moved back to Atlanta and dove right in. I started teaching classes all over the city. It kind of took off. There wasn't a real plan until the plan took me by the wind. So I my job working for Lululemon, and I put all of my passion into this big dream and signed a lease to open a studio and hired some really awesome people. And we opened the doors to Thunderbolt Power Yoga in September of last year.
Yeah, and I actually was there. We did a workshop together as part of like the yoga training educational course. And I mean, they've already done that. I know you recently did like a 21-day. Is it right now you're doing a 21-day what?
So we're incorporating, we're really basing a lot of this program off of it's Personal Revolution, where you do different laws of transformation that include things such as dissolve the blocks that you build up for yourself. And we break down 3 laws a week, and we talk about how they show up in a yoga practice, and then how you take them out of your yoga practice and apply them to your life.
Got it. Now, by the way, I want people to know that if they're looking at this screen right now, that actually is Carly doing this pose right here. This is actually Carly doing it. And one of the reasons why we want to do this topic tonight, because I know a lot of people go into yoga with the mindset of they're going there to stretch. They do it a lot from the physical aspect of it, but Carly makes it simple on how you can take it just beyond that aspect of yoga. There's different limbs of yoga. I know the physical aspect is just one of them. So why don't we just dive straight into the information tonight about taking yoga off of the mat, utilizing it as a lifestyle, and then Carly put together 3 strategies and 3 tips that we could utilize in order to incorporate into our lifestyle. So Carly, why don't you start with this first one right here?
So this first one here, be willing to come apart. And what I really mean by be willing to come apart is that there's a lot of value that lives in not showing up with this need to be perfect. Like, you're not always going to run your best race or do your best presentation or your best, you're not going to have your best conversation at work. So your yoga practice is the same way. If you show up with the knowledge, control everything and every day, you give yourself an opportunity for space, which is something he really doesn't give us. An opportunity to not be a perfect 10. You open up a door to get creative on your mat, a door to really see what's going on, to be curious about the way you are on a day where maybe you've had an injury or maybe you didn't get enough sleep. And when you show up that and you allow yourself to observe the way you are in that moment, it's eye-opening. You come from wherever you are the same way no matter what.
I've seen is with a lot of people, and really this also applies. And the reason why I love we do this topic, because I talk a lot about people who work out, and how they work out in the gym is how they live their life essentially. And people who are committed to that are committed to things in life. And this topic, what you're talking about, is great, because what I see with people is the reason sometimes they push themselves too hard is because they're so busy comparing themselves to other people that they let that become a barrier for themselves and really get in the way. I don't know if you see it a lot when people like look at neighbor on how they're doing a pose and they try and compete with that. Do you see that a lot?
Yeah, studio. We are a mirrorless yoga studio. And I did that on purpose because you were just talking about, Austin, is what I call a need for looking good. We all have this need to look good, but like, who's looking at you? Like, we all get so concerned on the way we as individuals look. There's nothing but the person and the mat and the breath and maybe some music and the people next to you. The need to judge and compare dissolves, because unless you spin the whole room looking around, you're not going to be focused on anyone but yourself. And that's where you really first feel it. You first feel the opportunity to come apart.
Yeah, I know. I mean, when you're saying this now, the people who I know, who I work out with, the ones that look at the board and they see how other people score and how much they're lifting, same thing holds true. Like, you see it a lot of their like Facebook posts and how they're very like looking at other people and how that's letting them come apart essentially, to not themselves and not be authentic enough, which is really unfortunate actually, because how you do one thing is how you do everything.
Right, it is. And if people show up and they're, lots of people say, I can't come, I don't know what I'm doing. But it really is, unless it's an advanced class, for all levels, and there's so many variations of one pose, it's going to show up in every single body differently. And every single person is concerned on what they look like, that they're concentrating on themselves. And that really gives them space to and not just look and compare. Now that's going to happen. They're going to see someone on the front row that's like a dancer or someone with an innate strength. And I'm sure like that type of thing still can bring up jealousy or almost like anger or frustration. But those are the things that also go straight into being willing to come apart. Like, I would tell someone, if that person's frustrating you, like, let them frustrate you. How frustrated? Feel it. There's no reason to tell yourself you can't have feelings and that you can't have the thoughts you're having. You can have them. You just need to be aware.
The reason why they got on, they told me on Instagram, was because they were interested in actually doing yoga, and they were just haven't done it yet. Is because they don't feel like they're at that level yet. And it's almost like exactly what you're talking about. Like, there's never that time where you're going to be ready to do. It's just go ahead and start, modify. It's not going to be perfect. It may never be perfect, but it's the journey of actually getting to that certain point and knowing that to get to this point. I mean, just start. Start somewhere.
It's a yoga practice, and it will always be a yoga practice and never a yoga perfect.
It's the same thing. I have a lot of friends a lot of interns, a lot of students, as you know, they come to the office, they shadow us, and they see the success in the office. It's a overnight thing, and something that just got created overnight. They don't see the hard work that went into getting it to the point that it is today, and the sweat and the tears and the sleep nights, and I mean, just so many years of what it took to get to a certain point. And same thing. It's a practice. It's a chiropractic practice. It's medical practice. All of these things are practices being worked on and evolved to get to a certain level. Just like Thunderbolt Power Yoga as well, which is which is obviously doing really well, just based on what I've seen as far as the trainings and everything else you guys have going on, which is awesome. But what I love seeing people who take action and who want to be proactive and actually making that change to evolve and to get to that next level, which obviously you're doing. So kudos.
Great. This is huge. This actually ties exactly into what you were just saying. So when you stop thinking about all of the things you can come out of your head and become fully present into your body. So it means noticing like the doubts you have, self-doubt, whatever you're thinking, and then letting it go. I like to call so you get into a space where you feel really good, and then the doubt comes, the worry comes, the anxiety comes, and sometimes I can see that on a student's face, like especially when we come into balancing poses. All of a sudden, like they fall out of the pose, they can't get back in, they look scattered, they're waiting now, they don't want to even come back into the pose because there's this fear of failure. And what they know, what they're not letting go of, is like, if I'm stupid, or I don't know how to do it, so I can't. And those are just knowings that they've supposedly given themselves. But by letting go of your storyline, you open up the lines of communication between you and a bigger you. Like the real you, the one that doesn't have all of the pressures tying you down.
Mm. Yeah, I have something similar to that, called like, as far as like limiting beliefs as well.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people just set, people when they come to the office, they make certain comments, and it's almost like they have these like limiting beliefs in themselves that don't allow them to achieve, and essentially just free themselves up for whatever it is they want to do and create whatever they want to create. And what was it?
Exactly.
You talked about like acting like a child as well, like childness. What was that about?
Yeah, I actually did a reading tonight at the end of my class that's called "Learn How to Play." It's from a Melody Beattie book, and it resonates so much with me because the book, this little story I read at the end, like watch how a child plays and laugh when all of the blocks fall. Like watch them look at the clouds and imagine that there's characters in the clouds, and watch them pull the petals off of flowers and smell the flowers. And they find the fun in everything. They find freedom, and they find play, and they find curiosity of the things that we've decided at this point in our lives are just there. We don't even notice. So if you drop all of what like you're waiting at a restaurant and you're bored and angry, and you drop like I'm hungry, and you drop all of your notions and knowings, and you just give yourself space to be like a child, then you can find joy in things that are small, like a flower, or the weather, or the clouds, or something that you just don't even notice anymore.
How this has shown up for you, would you say, recently, or like when something you've seen in someone else, how this has shown up recently, they found it and then it helped them grow. Is there an example you can think of, like off the top of your head?
Yeah, 100%. So, actually, just today I taught a private lesson to a guy who's a great athlete. He played sports in college, and he's got very broad shoulders and big arms, and sometimes that makes yoga pretty difficult because there's not a lot of space to do things with your arms, like the wraps and the binds and the twist. And he just decided, like, I can't fill in the blank. And there's this one pose we do that's called flip dog, and you start in a down dog, and you lift your leg up, and then you spin your body over, and you land in a bridge. And he's just like, I can't do that. So once I broke it down into really little pieces, he started to work on it, and then I gave him an assist. And it was almost like it might have really been doing nothing except for saying, you can do this, was enough for him to put his other hand down and get the pose. Like, he could do it.
Yeah.
So he didn't try until someone was standing there saying, you can actually do this. Try it. Like, here you go, and I'll catch you. Like, I have faith in you, and you're stronger than you know you are. And those are the moments that you watch people grow, because after that they come out with the most massive smile that looks like a kid who just won his, whatever he won, his soccer game.
I've seen that word, anytime someone says the words, I can't blank, usually whatever comes after that is just, like I said, it's a limiting belief that they're placing upon themselves. I mean, I've seen Ironman competitions before.
Right.
The possibilities to do really whatever you want is endless. And for those of you who actually own businesses, I consult with this one CrossFit gym, and I remember I was talking with them and trying to give them an idea to get membership up, and I told them, I said, why don't you guys do a major holiday event, and we'll bring in food, and we'll bring in beverages, and we'll do all these amazing things. They go, well, we don't have enough money. I go, okay, let's think outside the box for a second. Could you find sponsors Could you find people to donate beverages? Yes. Could you find sponsorships to donate prizes as well, and to be there, set up as vendors? Like, yes, 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 yes. So we created this massive event. Not only did they not pay $1, but they had all these business associations with themselves that they started to connect with people at community businesses, and who started referring more people into that CrossFit gym. So, they came in with this limiting belief of, oh, we don't have enough money. But really the problem was not they don't have money. They're just not out there figuring out how to make it happen.
Right.
So, and this principle, which you're talking about, like, holds so true with me, where, a lot of people blame the economy on why they can't achieve, or this, like, knowingness of what they think they know. But the truth is anything is possible in this world. And if there's one thing I could ever get across to people, it is anything is possible. You can do anything you want to do.
Right.
All it takes is work. That's it.
Yeah, uncomfortable.
Yeah.
For a moment. You have to step out of the comfort box and get comfortable being uncomfortable.
And one thing one of my friends always told me, he said, Austin, don't, and this is when I was younger, I used to care a lot what people thought about me when I was younger, and I used to want to be liked by everybody. I remember he told me, he's like, listen, people don't want to like you, you just need people to respect you.
Mm-hmm.
And ever since he told me that, every time I give a patient recommendations, or talk to someone about fitness, or talk to someone about anything in life, I do it from an honest and a very integrity standpoint, because it doesn't matter whether they like me or not from that conversation. What matters to me is that I was honest with them, and then the respect is there.
100%.
That's a key thing for me, and that kind of ties in actually with this last topic you talked about, which is don't rush the process.
Gosh, Austin, this one is so huge. I mean, you see, especially once it develops, you're going to have the people who are truly in the practice. They come every day. They know the skills. They can do more challenging. A new person walks in, and they want that on day one. They want ease. They want seamless practice. They want beautiful transitions. They want grace. They want strength. They want lean, long muscles. These pieces on day one. And I will even talk right in my classes, like, this might not work today, but that doesn't mean it won't work tomorrow. That sort of thing gives people encouragement to realize, like, this isn't happening in a day. I've even said, like, if you could do this on day one, you would never come back.
Yeah.
Fun is in.
Have you seen the movie The Peaceful Warrior?
I don't think I have.
Oh my God, you would love it. It's such a good movie. But there's about this mentor named Socrates, and he takes this kid on this journey through these beautiful mountains, and his whole the student the entire time is like, how much longer till we get to the peak? How much longer till we get to the peak? How much longer till we get to the peak? And then finally he gets to the top of the mountain. He goes, the mentor says, all right, we're here. Time to turn around. He goes, wait. We walked all this way just to get to this peak, and this is all you're telling me that we're done? Beautiful. He goes, it's in the journey, man. The beauty of the journey and the process of getting to this point. And you know what? We're such, as Americans especially, we're very marketed, heavily paid programming, right? It's 3-minute abs, make $1 million overnight in real estate, the minute bullet, the magic bullet. I mean, it's like everything is about like the short. And I know in today's world, most people don't even watch commercials anymore. Like we can't even watch commercials because everything's got to be so streamlined and so fast. So I mean, it's
you're so right. We all want to skip the most important steps, especially the steps that require extra work or fear, the risky steps, the uncomfortable steps. Those are all the steps that people want to bypass for the end goal. You can look at anyone, and any successful business owner, athlete, parent. I mean, any way it's in your relationship has overcome obstacles, and without them, it would be what they were, because they wouldn't have dealt with that sort of trial and error and tribulation that makes their relationship or their business what it is.
Oh man, if you're looking to like the choir right here. I mean, being in a chiropractic clinic, we get people coming all the time. They go, so wait, you mean this can take more than like 1 or 2 visits to fix? I'm like, are you kidding? You're 70 years old. You've had a desk job for 40 plus years. You've never done any core strengthening work. Yeah.
Right.
This is a journey because not only will we work on your spine, but then also there's going to be some strengthening stuff you're going to do. Maybe you should do some yoga, Pilates. There's those things we recommend for people as well. Your body and your health is the people who look at their healthcare as a short-term quick fixes are some of the sickest people on the planet, because they're the ones who are constantly taking medication for and not necessarily fixing their lifestyle problems, but they're masking it with all this medication. So they're actually truly not getting healthy long term. They're just feeling better for a short term.
Exactly.
I see this every single day. And if people could really get this down, and if they could look at, LeBron James, he did not get amazing overnight. Yeah, he's got some great genetics in his gene pool, but the guy practices religiously. He's the first one to show up to practice. He's the last one to leave. If he's constantly getting coached by his coaches on talking about free shots, and he's so open to it, even though he's the best of the best, but he's still willing to learn from people and how to get better. Oh, such a huge
Right.
compliment.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
It's in every area.
Not only with this is why I love we did this topic, yoga off the mat, because all these concepts that we're talking about here are so much about life processes as well. But I feel like for a lot of people, if you were to step into the yoga arena and just start on your yoga mat, start integrating some of these principles and watch how they show up actually in your daily life.
Right.
Commit to a yoga program for a year, 2 years, commit to a yoga program somewhere, go regularly, and then watch how commitment shows up other places in your life. And start understanding stuff and start watching how other things show up in your life in that arena. And Carly, tell us a little about where your studio is located, because I know there are a few people in Atlanta.
Yeah, on Roswell Road, just north of Johnny's Hideaway. So if you're driving down Roswell, you pass over the Piedmont-Roswell intersection and past the Landmark Diner on the left. We're about a quarter mile down on the left side of the road. There used to be an Outback Steakhouse in our shopping center, and Ford Fry has just made it public that he is opening his second Superica. And Detox Junk and Juice coming soon is going to be our neighbor. So super excited. We've got a health and wellness center, Pilates studio, a spin studio, as well as icebox cryotherapy, all in one little strip.
Wow. And then I know you're different though. Here's the thing, like, people think that every yoga studio is the same. People think every chiropractor is the same. There's a lot that separates the best of the best from just the mediocre people. I consider your studio definitely one of the best from everything that you've told me, and even just going down there and doing that teaching. Just give us like a few reasons why though. Not to like brag, but just like what separates yours from everyone else?
Yeah, the reason our studio is so successful is that we are fully committed to helping each person develop their practice on the mat. It empowers them to take their yoga off their mat into their life and to be playful. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be about community. It's supposed to be about empowering others. And at a lot of yoga studios, the community and the empowerment are missing. You're coming out, but you're not getting anyone to help empower you. And my teachers in self-empowerment, they're trained in their language, they're trained in public speaking. So I'm essentially hiring a yoga teacher and then teaching skills that you would learn in like a landmark forum, so that they come out with the possibility of speaking into each and every person. Like, the class is individualized for you, for your body, every day, the way you show up.
Check it out. Do you guys do like one free class or something like that just to try it out, or do you guys do like a week pass? How does it work?
Free class passes in some venues around town. But unless you have one, there isn't really a first class free. Instead, what we do for $40, it's unlimited.
Oh,
so you can basically pay $40 and come to 30 classes. Starts the day you activate it, it ends the day you 30 days from then. So people come in 25 times, some people come in twice. It's up to the person who buys it to really make a commitment to utilize it. If you don't want to use that on your first visit time, you can always do a drop-in, save your month for a month when you know that you're going to be able to really commit to something, and then go all out. It's the way into it is give yourself an opportunity to do 2 to 3 classes a week and then go from there.
Awesome. Well, if anyone has any, one person wanted to know, what do you recommend as far as how often should they do yoga?
Yeah, I would say if you're brand new to it, if you're not doing it at least 2 times a week, 2 to 3 times a week, you're not really going to feel the differences because your body, just like anything else, you go for one run, you're going to go for a run a week later, it's going to be just as hard. You need to get it into a routine. So I usually tell people choose like Tuesday, Thursday, or choose Monday, Wednesday, Friday, commit to them, put it in your schedule, and then see how you feel in a month.
Awesome. And if anyone ever has any questions, you can always find Carly on Instagram. It's yoga_Barbie, right?
You got
Perfect. And also, we're going to be putting this up. This goes on our YouTube channel. This also goes up on the podcast, Ordinary to Extraordinary, on iTunes. So if anyone has any questions, post them into the comment section. I'll make sure to send it over to Carly. We see each other pretty regularly, so I'll make sure I send it over to her, and we'll definitely get that answer. But check out her studio, Thunderbolt Power Yoga. It is amazing. Carly, thank you so much for being on the call, and I appreciate it.
You are welcome. I will see you next week for my adjustment. Looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Have a great weekend. Take care. Bye, guys.